What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we're doing a tall seat foam plus taller seat cover on my 2020 CRF110. Check it out. So looking at the stock seat, it definitely looks nice, but it just lacks a little bit in the height department. And let's be honest, these things were built for 10-year-old kids. So with that being said, I've got a Guts tall seat foam and a Thrill Seeker seat cover that is built for the taller foam, ready to go. And we're gonna pull this seat off. I'm gonna show you how to pull all the staples out, get the stock cover and foam removed, and get the new stuff installed. Now the biggest change with this tall seat foam is roughly 30 millimeters right here in the center arch of the seat, which is a noticeable difference when you stand over the bike, and also on your knees when you sit down. The distance between your knee and the foot peg has changed a little bit. So it's very noticeable, and it's 100% worth it. In order to do the tall seat, you need a cover that has been stitched for the taller foam height, and you also need a tall seat foam. This is a Guts Racing foam setup. It's about $100, I believe, and it's pretty nice. There are a few people that have had some complaints, but overall it's pretty good. You can pick your foam density. This is just like stock, so it's fairly firm. There's really no point in doing a tall seat and going with a soft density because it will end up sagging to the point of feeling like your factory seat as soon as you put any real weight on it. And then you need a seat cover that has been upholstered for the added foam height. So this is a Thrill Seekers cover. There's a lot of different companies. I've been pretty happy with their stuff thus far, and you can do a lot of cool customization things like colored stitching and ribs and different side colors, so on and so forth. This one actually does have double reinforced sides. They say it's for like a knee brace, but realistically anything longevity wise that you can do to make them last longer, I'm all for. So this is what's going to end up going on the bike, but first we need to pull off the stock cover. There's a ton of staples in here. I've already got my bolts out. There is going to be an 8mm bolt here and one on the other side. You want to pull it back first and then up like this to allow this part right here to come unlatched. You will see those are the two pieces that were hooked in, and then you can see there's a ton of staples all around the base of the seat. We're going to remove each one of those as carefully as we can so that we can keep this cover in good shape if we ever want to put it back on for whatever reason. So please excuse the dirty workbench, but I want to walk you through the tools that you'll need to get this done. It's pretty basic, but most importantly, you will need a staple gun. This is a pneumatic stapler. I don't recommend trying to use an electric one. I've had bad luck with it, and I don't really think that anyone else will have any better luck. So rather than waste your time, try to borrow one of these from a friend. Get your hands on one however you can. I use 1/4-inch staples. They seem to work great. Then you need a pair of dikes and a pair of flush cuts. You don't need both, one or the other. I like to use them to get underneath the staple and pull it up, and that helps with the use of the flathead. So you can start by going in, you pull up the staple like so, and then you grab it with these and pull it out. The razor blade, you will need to cut the old foam off of the seat base when you get to that point, once the cover is out of the way. And then lastly, you will need a spray adhesive of some sort. There may be some that debate this is not the best one to use, but I have had good luck with it thus far. When you get started, you just want to take your flathead, start like this, work your way underneath the staple, and try to pry it out. Once you get one side out, you can grab it with your dikes, squeeze it, and pull up, and the staple comes right out. You're going to want to work your way all the way around until every single staple is removed, and there are a ton of them. So about 10 minutes later, I've got all my staples out, and I can remove the cover and then remove the foam. So it doesn't really matter how you do it. Again, just be careful if you ever want to reuse this. Pull it off like so, and put it out of the way somewhere. Most of the seats that I've seen are mostly glued right around these edges here and here. So what I like to do is take the razor blade and just lightly and not very deep score this edge all the way around to sever any glue that might be on that first initial piece of seat base. It's going to be glued under this entire side here. Next thing is to try to pull it away slowly to get that to release. Now I'm going to start at the back. See, I got the main chunk of the seat to pop off. Go, we got that side all the way off. And there we go. Now to clean the pan up a little bit, I kind of use like Scotch-Brite or sandpaper or just my fingers. Whatever you really prefer. Just get this extra stuff out of the way so it's not in your way when you're trying to glue the new foam down. You can take a piece of like red Scotch-Brite. This is just 3M Scotch-Brite pad, and just run it across like that, and it will clean the edges up. Alright, so once that's all cleaned up, you can set your new foam in place. Maybe clean up some of the mess. Obviously, I don't ever clean my workbench, as you can tell, so however you want to handle that. And then if you look at the new foam on the bottom side of it, it's molded to fit, so the seat pan will actually sit right between all of that. What we're going to do is spray some of this 3M Super 77 adhesive all over the base of this. Now I like to do it on the base rather than the foam, because we know that this entire thing needs to be covered with the adhesive. If we start spraying the foam and we get it on this outer edge, it's gonna be disgusting. We're gonna get it on our fingers as we're working. It's just not the right move. Before I spray it with glue, I wanted to show what it looks like on the bike. You can see the gaps here. Now it's not pulled tight yet, but you can get an idea of how the foam's gonna lay. Up here, we've got pretty good fitment around the top of the seat, bottom of the fuel tank area, and then down the sides here. So I've let the seat get nice and tacky. I like to set the seat foam upside down and then place this, and you can hold it with these, or you can hold it with these right here, and that way it's not getting all sticky on your fingertips. So now that I've got it where I want it, I've got it all wrapped around, my sides are good, my back, the little point right here is centered. Just keep some pressure on it. Go all the way around and make sure it's making contact with the base, even on the curve here. And then give it a little bit of time to dry. Now I'm ready to put the cover on the tall seat foam. I'm gonna take the top and get it around the top of the seat foam, roughly like that, so the staples will go here around the edge. And once the top is hooked on, you wanna pull the back over and try to center it. So you wanna look at this point here, this center piece, roughly center between your two lines here, and just pull it over that. Now you're gonna be able to adjust it, but just get it close. To me, that looks really close right there. Keep some tension on it and just look at how it lays across the foam and make sure there's no like major mistakes. One of my biggest pet peeves is when you can see this rolled over edge. Pull this back. I'm gonna check my lines here and make sure that these are centered on top of the foam, running all the way down. Obviously this can be pulled in different directions, but if this is not center, it's never gonna be center if you staple this in position. I'm gonna add a couple staples right here, and then we'll pull our way to the back. So now that I got 3 holding the back in, this one I did long ways. I'm gonna pull that one back out. But for right now, it holds it tight. I think I've got my threads nice and straight, and we can double check. I didn't add any more up here, so these edges are still gonna look weird. As long as I have the potential to fix them, I'm okay with that. But that's looking on point. I'm gonna turn the camera off, run through the rest of this, get it all stapled in place, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. But just remember, you can always put a staple in to hold it so you can figure something out and then take the staple back out. It's not that big a deal. Looks a little wild on that side, but you flip it over. Nice, tight, clean. And of course, I'll show it to you on the bike after we're all said and done. All right, so I test fitted it, fully stapled it, and now we're back on the bike. Unfortunately, the same problem that everyone has with the gut seat cover or the seat foam is happening here, where we are not lining up all the way with the top of the tank. Now, a lot of guys have posted about this issue, and I was hoping you combat it this time. My last one, which I paid to have covered, was pulled so tight here that these edges were folded up and it looked bad, and there was a big gap here. And as far as the gap goes all the way down, it's really nice. And back here looks really good as well. Overall, the cover, Thrill Seeker's covers fit great. I don't have any issues with that. And number plate's still loose here. But again, it's that same problem where it just does not come all the way up to the fuel tank. So I actually cut a piece of foam off from my old stock seat, and I thought about potentially taking all my staples out, putting that in there, and trying to see if I can make it work. But I just don't know how much I care. I kind of care. That looks terrible, doesn't it? Regardless, I hope this video helps you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace out.